Well, they're the same position statement, but they're not. They didn't collaborate.
Okay.
So they should have similar thoughts, but they came up with them separately.
Okay. Got it. So
Who are you?
We're the authors and friends.
And what is your statement?
We should limit the power of the captain.
Okay, how?
How?
We declare that all ship captains should have limits on their power. They have been abusing their powers and treating their sailors like slaves.
The captains have been whipping the sailors even though it's not necessary. Even though they technically were talking back, it wasn't really someone to get whipped for.
Don't forget to support your statements.
They also were treating the sailors like slaves even though they don't belong to the captain. And I feel like the captain was taking charge of them even though they're supposed to be working how they want to work.
Well, the captains abuse their power and do whatever they want to just because they're in charge. But I think the captains have the power to keep their crew safe throughout the voyage, not to overpower them and damage them. Because if they damage them, the crew's going to be ruined and the voyage will be ruined too.
We also think that everyone on the ship should have freedom to speak, because Sam, actually, in the story, they said that he was a little slower than all the other crew members, so he was getting whipped technically for his disability, because even if he didn't talk back, he's going to be on the slower end because maybe of his disability, like they said.
So what do you think the captain's limit should be? The captains are risking.
Answer that question first.
So, like I said before, the captain should have powers to keep their crew safe, not to hurt them. They should have the powers to keep their crew safe from anything that might happen.
So what are the new limits then? Because those are already the limits that the captain's already taken advantage of. If you're not making any new limits, it's almost like nothing has changed, and they're still going to take advantage of the limits that they have.
The sailors, I think they should have more of a say in things, and the captains should be, maybe there should be a second captain to supervise, and so if one captain gets out of hand, the other can help.
What happens if they both get out of hand?
If they both get out of hand, then we've selected some pretty bad captains.
The captains are risking the success of the voyage by hurting the sailors.
Like I said before, they're making the chance of the voyage going lower and lower. Succeeding the voyage. Wait, so let me say that again. So the captain is hurting our friends or sailors by hurting them and damaging them. So the success of the voyage is not gonna get that high if you're gonna hurt your teammates.
So basically, they're also hurting the sailors, but they're also hurting their privilege of being a captain by abusing their power and just they're basically slacking their job. And so finally, the captains are abusing their privilege of being the leader of the group by doing all the things.
So as friends of the crew members, what do you think, as the friends, you could do to help the crew how to help them not get out of your punishment, but how can you help the crew be better so they don't have that result of getting whipped?
They should have maybe they should start training the sailors before they come aboard and start getting whipped a lot.
Well, so like people said before, our friends have been on the ship because they want to do it, but some of them are just wanting to do it for the fun of it. But I don't think that's just a little dangerous, so we should help them a little bit by giving some advice and training them.
They're breaking the rule because they're risking the success of the voyage by injuring the sailors. And the sailors being injured, they can't get all the work that needs to be done to get the voyage to be successful.
So how does that all even out then? If you have people getting injured because of the captain, and they can't do their full job because they're injured, if everybody's injured, how will it all even out? Because if there's a few people that aren't, they'll have to pick up the extra slack, and that's just not fair. That's more or less favoritism.
Could you please clarify a little bit?
That's what they're saying. So like, basically the whole trip on the ship is just like a torture mode, because all they're doing is hurting the sailors, not really getting all the work done that needs to be done to have a successful voyage.
I personally think that if on the ship the captain is like, abusing the rights of the sailors, whipping them, the sailors are not going to be like thrilled to go back to work and work as hard as they can. So by treating the sailors poorly, it kind of backfires on the captain, saying that they might want to sabotage what the captain wants to have done.
The captain should be limited, and so they can keep having a successful voyage. They should congratulate the sailors when they do something good, so they can be encouraged to do better the next time.
All right, 1 minute warning.
Well, we believe that the captain should have limits on their power and should still be able to punish while still being fair to the sailors.
And we're saying the captain should have limited power, but the sailors should have limited power too. But we're still on our friend's side. We're not trying to be on the captain's side, but the sailors should have limited power too.
So basically, in conclusion, by limiting not only the powers of the captain, but then the sailors, because we don't want the sailors to abuse their freedom, we think that if we limit the powers of both, it will equal out and give you peace on the boat.
It'll be a fun boat, a unicorn boat.
So, to conclude here, what we need to do is we need to listen in on the Naval Review Board's discussions as they decide, Griffin, your warning, as they decide the case here. They're going to try to decide, should there be limits, should there not be limits, is there some sort of middle ground? They get to decide what to do, but they have to talk loudly enough so that we all listen in on their conversation. So everybody listen to the Naval Review Board as they discuss their thoughts.
Okay,
So
We'll start with the captain.
the captain.
Okay, the captain had some very good statements of why they should, because they had their rights that they need to keep everybody in line. But then there's the fact that people are getting injured for what they're doing, and we all know that's not fair.